Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Super License F1 podcast. My name's Rodney.
And my name is Zach.
We're just two F1 boys having a good time talking F1 to you, just to you.
I wonder if that reference is going to make sense.
What reference? Explain it to me.
Oh, no reference. We're just two guys and we're having a good time. Very early Lonely Island. The good Lonely Island stuff.
Go and check out the good Lonely Island stuff. Everything up to and including the first album, according to Zach.
Yeah.
Although I think the second and third album are fine.
Yeah, they are fine. I mean, we're too early for content recommendations, but we're just two guys and we're having a good time. And we like sports and we don't care who knows. The two good Lonely Island ones.
That's us. Not the only two good ones, but they're very good. And it's basically the same song twice.
Yes. Yeah, they found a theme to start off with. And it worked.
Yes.
Catapulted at least one of them into stardom.
All the way to the bank, baby. Well, we should say what we're going to do. This is the Super License show. There's been no F1 race this weekend, which means it's Shakedown time. We decided that this episode was called Shakedown 10 because it is. But you had a fantastic, sexy rebranding idea.
Oh yes, this is. Also, you have already changed the brand of the show by calling it the Super License F1 Show. Or the Super License Show as opposed to podcast or just Super License. It's like Saturday night. It's a Super License Show. But yeah, this is Shakedown X.
Shakedown X. Shakedown X.
Yes, exactly.
Sounds like a punchline.
Yes, or a Macintosh operating system. But the hacked version. Jailbreak. This is the jailbreak version of Mac OS 10. It is Shakedown X, or the jailbroken version of Super License.
Yes. This is Shakedown X, super agree. Something like that. Well, Zach, look, often I'll just do a quick check-in with you. How you feeling? How you going?
Yep.
You doing all right?
Good.
Feeling good?
Yep. Yeah, it's surprisingly warm. The weather makes it look like it's going to be freezing and horrible. Then you go outside and it's 18, and I don't understand. What's that, like 65, 70 Fahrenheit for the US listeners? I have no idea, but that feels right.
Double plus 30.
What?
So from Celsius to Fahrenheit, you double, and then you add 30. So you want to go 18, you go up to 36, you add 30, about 66. I mean,
so I said 70.
It's like rule of thumb, but it's so close. Like, it's a good-looking thumb.
That's what a rule of thumb is, though, right? Like, it's meant to just be... It's not named after, like, Thomas Thumb and his rules. It's like, it's about that, right? An inch is kind of a thumb width, like something like that.
No, exactly. I think that's exactly right. No, it's meant to be like, this is good enough, don't hold me to
film, like The Thumb Wars or whatever. Like, that's not where the rule of thumb comes
does
from.
he make all the thumb movies?
Yeah, something like that.
Is he the thumb mogul? Well, look, you hate to see that. It's Shakedown. So what does Shakedown mean? If Shakedown means we're not going to talk about a race, we might talk about a little bit of F1 news. We're going to have some content recommendations later coming up. So if you're sitting around listening to this, boy, you probably got a bit of time on your hands, I would say. So we're going to give you some curated Super License endorsed, Super License F1 show endorsed content recommendations. So that you could stick around for those later. But right off the top, we're just going to lay it out there, get you teased, get you thinking about something, and we're going to mention the Shakedown poll. So this one went up on Twitter yesterday, which means it's about to close. How long is there left? 55 minutes at the time of recording. Holy GB smokes, we're cutting this one fine. But the question was, what do you reckon? Will Zach get the answer right this week, yes or no? Zach, before you jump in with your answer, let me talk through this a little bit. Let's game plan this a little bit. I think we came up with this on the show, or we were talking about it, and then we said that'd be a funny idea for a poll. Will Zach get the poll right, yes or no? So I've been thinking about this in my mind, which is where I do most of my best thinking, which is
good space to thinking. Yeah,
I think you've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting this one right, which is not great odds. Because I think if you say yes and the listeners and the voters all say yes, then you get it right. Ding, 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 you get it right. That's 1 out of the 4 scenarios. If you say you will get it right and they don't think you will get it right, majority rules, then you've got it wrong, which means you got it wrong. If you say you won't get it right and they think you will get it right, then you've also gotten it wrong. And if you say you won't get it wrong, but but they think you won't get it wrong, right? If you think you'll get it wrong and they think you'll get it wrong, you'll be right, but you guessed that you were going to get it wrong, which means you guessed wrong. So out of the 4 scenarios, I think that you've only got one with a plausible chance of actually winning. So I'm just saying you might want to factor that in.
I am going to guess right now that I'm going to get it right, and the listeners are going to think I'm going to get it right. So they've got total confidence in me, and I've got total confidence in them. And
we'll find out. We'll find out at the end of the episode whether they back you or not. But that's basically how this works.
Isn't this Prisoner's Dilemma or like game theory or something?
I guess there's something like that.
I ignore all the jock stock bullshit as much as possible.
Yeah, good.
But
do that.
I think this is what that is. And look, if you're into game theory, all power to you. I like games. Yeah. I had a really good conversation with someone last week about whether something is a sport or whether it's a game, and I think it just turns out that I only like sports that are games.
So what was the rule of thumb for whether something is a game or a sport?
I think for example, the 100-meter sprint is not a game. It's a sport, but it's at the Olympic Games, which complicates things. It should be called the Olympic sport.
I love that. I love
because
stuff like this. This is amazing.
You never refer to anything as like, well, is that an Olympic game or not? You always say that it's an Olympic sport. He's won a gold medal in the Olympic sport of sprinting.
It's true.
But I wouldn't call sprinting a game, but it is the Olympic Games.
Whenever you say to an Olympic gold medal winner that you're also good at games, they get very angry.
Hey, you won that game. Amazing. It's like, no,
I like playing games.
It's a sport. Oh, yeah, I love games too.
Oof, I'm a big gamer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an Olympic gamer. Wow. This is fun and weird, but I think I like
No, I love stuff like that. I like being very technically correct and pointing out when people are technically incorrect. Like, that thing when you go to bed at night, you do, what are some of the things you do before you go to bed, Zach?
I read a book.
Yeah. What else might you do hygiene-wise?
Oh, brush my teeth, maybe have a shower.
No, stop there. What do you use to do that?
Brush my teeth.
Yeah, what do you use to do that?
I use a toothbrush and some toothpaste.
A toothbrush? Oh, a toothbrush. Do you only brush one of your teeth, do you? Do you only brush one? Toothbrush. Should be called a teeth brush, mate.
Teeth brush.
Should be called a teeth brush.
Yeah.
Hairbrush is fine, because hair is also the plural.
Because hair is
the
teeth, plural, yeah.
That's wrong. So there you go.
Yeah, you never call it a scrub brush, do you? It's always a scrubbing brush, because that's the action.
Oh, that's another good one. Yes, exactly.
So a teething brush, that's no good.
A toothing.
Yuck.
It's a tooth cleaning brush.
Yeah. This is great.
Oh, yeah, okay. So this is excellent. This is the best.
So F1, is it a game or is it a sport?
It's the most deadly game, isn't it?
Yeah, because you play games. You do sports, I guess. It is a deadly game. Yeah.
It's true. I think it's true. Yeah, I don't want to go into that, Squid Game spoiler territory.
Squid Sport, I'll have you know.
Squids, I was going to say, should it be called Squid Sports? I don't know. Squid Sports doesn't really have the same impact, I don't think. Let's get into some F1 news. Is there any news kicking around that you want to jump into?
Well, we should have moved straight into this from Thumb Talk, because there's a lovely picture of Mika Hakkinen doing the half thumbs up. I don't get this right. So when you do a thumbs up, do you press the second knuckle of your thumb into your fingers, or do you right angle your thumb to your other fingers? Like you make the fist, and then the thumb comes up at like a right angle to the rest of the orientation of the fingers.
Number one, I don't do two. I don't do one, I do two. I bend my thumb back as far as possible, both of them, sort of Borat style. Give it that. I give it all that.
So you're getting like a bow.
The other one I do, very, very common, one-handed finger gun. Why not do that when you could, just try a bit harder?
Does anybody do a one-handed finger gun with the thumb, like, pressed down into the finger?
Not the way he does. So to describe what Mika Hakkinen is doing, it looks like he's pinching something between his finger and his thumb. It looks like he's pinching something, and his thumb is just slightly curled up at the end. Right? So is that the Steve Jobs?
The Steve Jobs, and then kind of up to the face a little bit, like thinking, like on the chin.
Oh,
it's what politicians do, because they're not allowed to point. So they do this, like, press the thumb into their fingers.
Thumb into the finger. It's exactly right. It's the public address. I'm making a big point here, and I'm going to illustrate it by doing this. You're right.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's the story with Mika Hakkinen?
He's double F1 champion, Mika Hakkinen, and partner and friend, maybe, Bottas.
Countryman.
Are going to race at the Race of Champions, which is a made-up thing where they do weird fun races where usually, like... Well, it's always like you compete as countries, and there's usually like one unknown and one good, or one world champion in this circumstance and one non-world champion. But between them, they've got a couple of F1 championships. So that's
they average
nice for
out
them.
at one each.
Yeah. And they're going to race around a bit. And I didn't know that Finland qualified for the Race of Champions. I don't know what the qualification criteria is.
Don't know. I guess... I think the idea is the drivers have to be from the same country. Yeah, that's one of the rules, I think.
Yes.
Beyond that, I don't even know. And it sounds like they're driving on ice and snow. We made lots of references to Led Zeppelin before we started recording. But exactly. We might go out on that music this week. But that's the only rule that I know is you've got to be from the same country. So for instance, I believe former winners, David Coulthard, Susie Wolff from Scotland, couldn't name any other. That's the only one I'm interested in.
That's interesting because Scotland doesn't compete at the Olympics as its own country.
The Olympic Games, the Olympic sports, yeah.
Yeah. They compete as Team GB in Northern Ireland.
Oh, that is interesting. I wonder if the Vatican has a team.
But the Vatican is its own country.
Is it? Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Scotland
it is a country, so do they have a team? That's what I'm...
Yeah, and who would... And do you... What are you saying? Do you think Francis is quick around in a buggy around ice and snow?
Could be. I mean, they're literally bulletproof. So, I mean, what are you going to do to take it out? Can't do anything.
The car. I've watched this like one time.
Right.
I feel like.
Right. I've never watched it.
Yeah. I feel like I watched it when it was like Hulkenberg and Vettel together. I was like, that's a good matchup. Like, that's a good, not a good matchup, a good partnership. Like, they should win everything. And I think they kind of did. I think they were very good. Who would you like to see from Australia right now? Doing the thing. If there was a similar pair up of a retired driver and a current driver, who would you like to see?
Current F1 driver or just driver on the scene?
Is there a driver on the scene?
Well, I was going to say
he was the first driver to
just
the scene.
To be like, I know drivers. I mean, there's obviously Ricardo, but I go Oscar Piastri because that's why not?
Have you ever seen him in a race car? Have you seen him race?
I've seen him in a race car. I haven't watched him race, no. But I mean, he's winning everything. What more do you need to know? And then we'll go with former Australian, current South African, expat Australian Mark Webber. Has to be him.
Yeah, it's got to be. It has to be.
We have to remember that we made that joke on the Patreon only episode.
Oh.
But, go and watch the Schumacher documentary and then you'll know what we're talking about.
And yeah, before Mark Webber comes on screen, you think about what is that South African accent? You too can be surprised when
that's right.
Not a South African.
Exactly. So any other thoughts about this Race of Champions racing on ice and snow?
If I was Mika Hakkinen, I wouldn't be happy about being paired with Bottas. I'd prefer Kimi.
Well, who you prefer Kimi? Okay,
world champion. Yeah, I'd only if I was a world champion, I would only want to be paired with world champions.
You got also Keke Rosberg could have a crack.
Yeah, I'd be scared that the non-world champion was going to get all their stank on the car.
Geez, really? Just you and your bad luck and your non-world championship, just ruining our chances.
Well, it's just another team that Bottas is part of where he's the number 2, right?
Ooh, burn. Sick burn.
Sick burn.
I found a news story that I want to get into. Can we get into this?
Yeah, I want to rip on Bottas more. I'm in the mood for it. I don't know why. He's done nothing to me. No. You tell me. What's your news story?
He's still got a baby's face. News story headline: Petronas committed to Mercedes F1 team. Aramco rumors dismissed. Now, here's the reason why I want to get into this. This is like dream journalism fodder. So first of all, you hear a rumor that turns out to be untrue. But you get to write a story. Oh, Aramco are going to take over title sponsorship of Mercedes. Then there's the announcement that like confirms that rumor is incorrect. So you get to write 2 stories instead of 1. Amazing journalism stuff. This happens all the time. It's like rumors that this might be happening.
We made the story.
And then they're like, so-and-so, person XYZ comments denying that so-and-so will happen despite rumors. And then it's like, official announcement. Thing is not happening despite strong rumors. And it's like, oh, geez, this is exhausting. Rumors. This is why we don't talk about rumors on this podcast because it's just infuriating.
Yeah, rumors are Rod is moving to the Box of Neutrals F1 podcast. So next week we can talk about
comment, Rod? I could not possibly comment.
No comment on rumors.
The other thing that we should maybe talk about is the calendar came out. Do you want to get into this?
Oh, yeah, let's do that quickly.
I mean, that's
45
so big
races, right?
I think, across 6 months of the year. Then there's a summer break. 23 races. There's a race in Miami in May for some reason. Then there's another one in Austin in October. We're going to have Imola and Monza on the track at the same
Well,
year.
there's a lot of
on the
I'm seeing a
calendar.
lot of asterisks on this.
There's a lot of
calendar.
asterisks. Someone did point this out to us that there's 3 in a row with asterisks, but
this might
some of them are just subject to FIA circuit homologation, which will pass. That's okay. Another one is subject to contract, which is slightly more worrying. I wouldn't be booking tickets to those ones, but because there's a few of those. But I mean, it's just a busy calendar, just busy.
I'm a bit annoyed that this year it seems like Spain is closer to my birthday than Monaco. Does that make
You're not liking
Grand Prix
this?
my
Okay.
birthday my birthday race?
Oh dear me, this just won't do. Has
Maybe
there ever
that
been a
asterisk
year
is
when the
there for a
Monaco?
reason.
But has there ever been a year when the Monaco Grand Prix wasn't the closest one to your birthday?
I mean, it's probably happened before, but no. Usually qualifying is like, I don't know. No, it always feels like that's my birthday weekend. Like if you were going to pick a weekend for your birthday to be on, I suppose this couldn't be it, right? You would never have your birthday the weekend before your birthday. Like if you were going to have a birthday weekend, it would always be after the actual birthday day, not before. And in this circumstance, that's the case.
I've done both. I think it just depends what's closest, in my opinion.
Look, all right, fine. I'll go to Barcelona for my birthday next year.
No, you
Great.
can go
And I'll go to the
like.
race.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
That's great.
You know what?
No,
It's
no,
been
it's-
years since
oh,
I've been to
geez.
Barcelona. Why don't you come?
I will see you there. See you
Shut
there,
up.
amigo. We'll go. When's the running of the Bulls? Is that the same time?
Yeah, it's the Red Bull. Oh God, I pulled out of that shit joke. So I edit the podcast. I'm gonna scrub it from memory.
I was going to kick you off the podcast like live on air. Oh, damn, I said I was going to be nice to you. Fuck.
Rumors in Super License that there's discord at Super License camp over bad buns.
Rod refuses to address rumors of Zach's exit. Because of the apparently on Twitter, someone said that my Twitter poll was mean to you, so I promised I would be nice to you. That's what that was about.
That's good. That's good.
What did it say? Oh, here we go. This is from Mel Ross. Man, Zach gets no end of abuse. Poor guy. But yes, I did vote no. So he doesn't think that you're going to get the question right.
I have a problem with the calendar, Rod.
Okay, what is it?
That there is no consistency about whether the name of the... So we have, on this provisional 2022 Formula One calendar put out by F1 on the F1 website, I'm not going to read the whole URL for you, but you can find it. We've got a date column. So that's the day of the Grand Prix. Not the start of the weekend. That's the date of the actual race.
Okay.
And we have the second column is Grand Prix. No other information. Now, if I just said Grand Prix, how would you refer to the one that happens in Australia? Is that the Australian Grand Prix? Is it the Melbourne Grand Prix?
It should be the Australian Grand Prix.
Okay, perfect. And then venue is, what would you say?
Albert Park.
No, in this circumstance,
Melbourne.
it's Melbourne. Yeah. But
I see what you're saying.
total inconsistency because the fourth race on the calendar, 24th of April, is the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. So if you're just reading this calendar, you'd be like, I don't know what that is, and I don't know where that is.
Well,
so useless. Thank you for nothing.
yeah, I don't know. We might be looking at different representations of the calendar. But yeah, there are some where it's the track name. But then there's, I would say most
on Slack.
Okay, but we're probably looking at the same thing. But I would say most of them are a city, as opposed to
Most of them are. Yeah. Most of them are. But it's not like, and I would understand if the Grand Prix had like the sponsor name in it. If it, it's always like the Heineken, when you drink, don't drive, Formula One, Aramco of Austria, something like that.
But
these are
for example, the USA Grand Prix is called the Grand Prix USA Grand Prix. It's in Austin. It doesn't say Circuit of the Americas track.
No,
And
exactly.
it doesn't
but
say
La Castellet is
Singapore
a place and
doesn't
also
say,
a track.
Well, okay, yeah, I know. I agree. I agree. It's inconsistent.
It's fucked up.
All right,
is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. You're right.
It also makes it hard. Like, where's Abu Dhabi? What country is Abu Dhabi? I mean, I know, but I'm asking you.
I don't know. You know more than me. You're so much smarter than me and more well-travelled than me.
But it's just the UAE. And I think this means that next year we have... No, we don't have there's no Qatar race next year, right? We've got one this year, and then they're taking 2 years off or something, and then they're on the year after. Something like that. Right?
I think it's 1 on, 1 off, 10 on.
Yeah.
It's like the fireman. The
Then
way
who
the firemen
knows?
work.
And then by then, all races will be in the oil petro states because they're fighting a proxy war via Formula One. So then all of them have one. Yeah. Come to the land
Any other
of the
F1
petrol and sand.
No, come on. Any other news? Any other F1 news you're interested in?
Let's do a quick scan down. There's been lots of chat. I've seen this this always happens, right? But come up to the US Grand Prix and everyone's like, well, why aren't there any Americans in Formula One? And it's like, maybe because they're not good enough. But actually the case is
trying.
They're, none of the teams really want them because they just, I don't know. They don't come up to the European things. I don't know.
It's true. Right. The right guy will come along. Right person will come along. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So also, this is a problem that will sort itself out.
No, this is headline, from I don't know who O'Ward is, but it says Herta has everything to be successful in Formula One. So Pato O'Ward, what a name, believes that fellow IndyCar driver Colton Herta has everything to be successful in Formula One, other than a team, a drive, or maybe ever having done it, and suggests he can make the switch with Andretti in the near future. I don't know. I think that's always a bit of bullshit. There's always like, the guys from IndyCar, but no one does it. No one ever moves from IndyCar to Formula One.
This is a story for the sake of a story. It's not a real thing.
Yeah, he was approached for comment, which will be the next episode, next article next week. Yeah, wow, a lot of shade. All right, you got any other things, or you want to talk about content recommendations?
No news. Yeah, I was going to say, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the poll or the content recommendations?
No, let's finish on the poll. Because
cool.
I've kind of got a. I've got a week. I don't have great suggestions this week for content, so why don't you go first?
Oh dear. Okay, I feel so unprepared. Oh dear. Let me pull up my list of 100 million things. Where do we go here? Okay. So Zach, Ted Lasso. Did you like Ted Lasso? Just pretend as if I don't know that you love it. Have you finished watching it? Actually, you said
no, I haven't. I'm 2 episodes behind. I think I haven't had the time. It's a me show just for me, and I haven't been choosing to watch them.
Okay. Well, Well, here's what I'll do then. You've got to watch the rest of Ted Lasso. So I won't go for something that's too over the top, time consuming. But let's. You probably actually know this one, but this is it was a surprise to me, and I tried it, really liked it. Can't wait for there to be more. Show shot in the BBC, starring New Zealand starlet Rose Matafeo. This is Starstruck. Have you heard of this?
No.
Starstruck. It's a bit like it's a very just nice, easy watch in the Ted Lasso sort of vein. That's why I brought it up. Starstruck. So Rose Matafeo plays a young girl, has a one-night stand with a guy. It turns out that guy is an up-and-coming Hollywood sort of star. He's in, AAA movies, that kind of guy. Whoopsie daisy. So then, what do you know? They catch feelings for each other and boom, it gets complicated very quickly. But it sounds trite, but it's just a good little show, really well written. Good performances, good characters, worth a look. Starstruck. And it's shot in your hometown, Zach. Starstruck, one word.
That's pretty good. I'm going to write that down. I have a list. I'm going to Google it. Starstruck.
And because it's British, there's like 6 episodes. They'll maybe make 6 more and then that'll be it forever.
Did you accuse me of my hometown as being London? When did that happen? I don't think that's right.
When you moved there like 100 years ago. When you started saying words like hoovering. I
didn't, did I? I might have.
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay, well, Starstruck. Gonna copy the link into.
That's a recommendation for Zach, but also for others.
Yeah, This we build these recommendations just for you and me, but other people listen. So I'm going to put that in the joint Slack channel that my partner and I have. That's called Movie and TV List.
Amber would love it.
Posted it there. Yeah. She doesn't listen to the show, so she's going to miss her own shout out. How about that? What a shame.
Don't tell her that it's a recommendation because then she'll be like, oh, now I have to pretend like I like it even if I don't. It's fine.
That's exactly what she sounds like.
Watch it. Oh, no, jeez. You're going to get me in trouble here.
We're both in trouble. Perpetually. It's fine.
It's your fault. It's my fault.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we share we're a good team and we share the trouble. Great. All right. I've got one for you.
Yeah, hit me.
So there's a guy on YouTube called Tom Scott who does really good like things you should know style, or things you didn't know kind of videos, and he'll go to a place and be like, this is a really big mound, but and it's right in the middle of this country town. Why is it here? Why is it interesting? And it's always cool little like 4 or 5 minute videos of stuff that you're like, oh, that is really interesting or really cool. And there's always a little point about like whether it's conservation or innovation or technology, those kinds of things. And he's honed his craft over a long period, and has a lot of, in the millions YouTube subscribers. He's launched a new channel called Tom Scott Plus, where he does something slightly different, where he goes and has an experience with somebody else that he either is in his ecosystem or in his ecosystem. That's not what I mean, but like in his spheres of friends or other YouTubers or an expert in something. And the first one he did was with Jay Foreman, who of Map Men fame, who I really, if you haven't watched Map Men on YouTube, it's hilarious and fun, and just really, really, really good, where they look at stupid maps and how they came about and why they are that way. And it's always like kind of geopolitical or interesting and fun. And so, yeah, always like that. So Jay Foreman was on this episode, Tom Scott Plus, and they did, they went along with some like high flying, like, what do you call the like aerial gymnastics, I suppose, like airplane stuff, doing loop-de-loops and stuff. And there were passengers in each, in one of these planes each, and just seeing how far they could push. Like, would they pass out? Would they throw up? How fun is it? All that kind of stuff. So quite scary for these two kinds of nerdy lads, but very fun. And the most recent episode of Tom Scott Plus has one of my favorite YouTubers, James Hoffman. He's a coffee guy. I think I've suggested his videos before. And they do like a guided coffee tasting, which is great because Tom Scott doesn't drink coffee and has never drunk coffee really, and doesn't think he likes it. So seeing someone go through the phases of like exploring coffee really for the first time in their entire life is really interesting and fun, and you'll learn a lot. So Tom Scott Plus is my recommendation.
Good stuff. Good picks. Good picks.
I think
you don't want any bonus picks? We're just going to call it there?
You got one more, do you?
No, not really. I mean, I could, but not really. No.
Okay.
Do you want one?
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, I do. Tell me. What is it?
Let's say, all right, let's go with this one. Let's say you don't have 27 minutes to watch a TV show or, time to do whatever. Log into YouTube.
Do a podcast.
Maybe you want something really quick, a nice, easy, feel-good thing that you could just do. Get on the Twitters. Follow a Twitter account called Two Pingus. You familiar with the kids show Pingu?
Yes.
Sure. So imagine a Twitter account where every 3 hours there's a tweet of a photo of two random screenshots of Pingu superimposed over the top of each other. And that's it. And if you want to see one custom made for you, you can tweet at the account, Two Pingus, please, and it will respond with a custom image just for you. Two Pingus on Twitter is my easygoing, low time investment recommendation to just like bless your feed with Two Pingus. Is what I'm saying.
I'm just going through them and they're fucking amazing. Oh my God.
Great. This was invented by Ben McClay, aka Thomas Violence, on Twitter. Also a good follow, but Two Pingus. Two Pingus is my recommendation. That's my easy recommendation.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Okay,
Apparently
tell me how did the poll go? Oh no, go on.
He came up with the idea when he was incredibly stoned. So
yeah, this seems like it.
There you go.
It seems like
it does, right? The Twitter poll, just to recap, the question was, what do you reckon? Will Zach get the right answer this week? Your options were yes or no. No trick answers, just a trick question, hidden question, hidden question mark. Here we go. Drum roll, please. Let's find out what the answer is. Oh dear. So your guess was again, Zach?
Yes.
The correct answer with 71.4% of the vote is no. So the listeners, readers, Twitter followers have played the percentages because they knew that there was a 3 in 4 chance that it was going to be no, and they wanted to guess right. I guess, though, if you factor that in, let's just play this out. If you factor in that there's a 3 in 4 chance that it's going to be no, actually 28.6% of people said yes. So that's more than 1/4. There you go. So you can spin it that way and say that. I think you overperformed, is what I'm trying to say. You did better than average. That's exactly right.
That's pretty much my whole life. Just overperformed.
Above average.
Just. Yeah.
Good, solid B- down the line.
Yeah.
Reliable.
Yeah. More than a passing grade, but not enough to be noticed.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, Zach, anything else that we want to cover before we wrap this baby up for another week?
No, let's wrap it up. Get in the Christmas spirit and wrap it up, put a bow on it. I suppose, what have we got? We've got a Circuit of the Americas race on at the very reasonable hour of 8 p.m. on Sunday for me.
Oh, so wait a second. Let me see what my local time is. This is going to be something disgusting, race. I bet.
No, I thought it was good for you based on that. If it's 8 p.m. my time, it's going to be like 5 a.m. your time, or 6 a.m.
Yeah, horrible. No, 6 a.m. 6
a.m.
to 8
you're already
a.m.
up.
That's like, actually lately not really, but you know, it's not the worst. I might still get up and watch this. The problem will be just the distraction of having to get up and make rice bubbles and all the rest of it. But I might still get up and watch it. I don't know.
I want rice bubbles. Oh, I'm going to get some American cereal to watch this race with. And an American beer as well. Yes.
Lockdown ends, but is there an American importer within 15 k's of my house? Actually, I think that limit goes as well. It's all good news if you live in Melbourne, basically, this weekend. We're going to live it up America style this weekend.
Yeah, cowboy hats.
I'll get something American. I don't know if it'll be a cereal, but I'll get something. Yes, cowboy hats, exactly.
What is it? Cheeseburger bang bang, something like that? What was the fun name?
I know what you're thinking of. But that wasn't imported from the US, wasn't it? Wasn't it from Malaysia or something?
Yeah, but it was fun making fun of Americans. Anyway.
It was. It always is. Well, look, I hope you enjoy the race. We'll talk all about it next time. Until then, my name's been Rod.
My name's been Zach.
We'll
Cowboy cheeseburger bang bang.
See you for the US Grand Prix.
See you for the grumpy.
See you for the grumpy. All right, fine. See you then.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. Why does it have to be me? For the worst sign-off in the history of the podcast, it has to be me.
That wasn't the worst sign-off in the history of the show.